Welcome back to PJ Chen Design. This is PJ. In today's tutorial, I actually like to talk about a foam for this beer bottle cap because I do find interesting indentation on the side that I would like to show you the trick that I found. Are you ready? Let's get started. If you get a really quick model, you can get a roughly shape about this beer bottle cap. But however, when I look into the detail on the reference image, I do see this a little bit indentation there with the skirt flare out. So it's more like this way. So this video, I wanted to show you how to get from this into this. That's starting from the scratch. So we are going to starting from the front view, and you can go ahead and figure out what exactly size of your model. This is for the demonstration, so it's not actually model in size. So when we draw any of these circle over here, we only have like 8 control point to edit, and it's not really much we can edit it. So we need to rebuild this curve, and we need to have a lot more point. Let's say if you want to have a 22 bump, then you need to have a double because you need to have one going up and one going down, right? So we want to turn it into the 44 point for 22 bump, and we want to click OK. So once you have that, you are going to go every other one, and unfortunately there's no other quick way. You just need to select it one by one. So I'm going to click on this one. Alright, so once I have all the points to be select, I can scale them down to be something like that. Alright, so then this will be your cap. Notice that it is a little bit more pointed, so that's because I have a one up and one down. If you do like to have it more rounded, maybe you need to triple the number when you rebuild it instead of just double. So I'm going to stay with this like that. And to get something really quick, we can come into the top, and I'm going to draw a line starting from the 0, and with this 0 going up for how high I want this cap to be. And I also wanted to draw another line snapping into the quadrant right here, and we also need to draw another line going from here, holding my shift key and click over there. So those two allow us to blend some curve. So let's use a blend command. We're gonna blend in between here and also here. All right, and apparently this is way too tall. I'm going to bring it down something like this. Like this. Hit enter, then we'll get this curve here. And if you don't like it, you can actually draw your own. In fact, for the beer cap, you might need to have some more corner right there. So in fact, I'm going to insert a control point, maybe just one more here, and this one I can bring in down. So it's more corner instead of just like slice in like this. Okay, now we have this. To creating the surface is quite easy. We can use the surface command that you have a rail revolve. This is the profile, this is the rail, and the axis is go from here to here, and we'll get something like this. Notice that it's a little bit pointed there. Okay, so this is one way to do it, and like what I say, it should be a little bit more pointed. So I'm gonna come back here to do a quick adjustment, and I just wanted to bring this one a little bit more like this way to get more of the corner over there. All right, let's do one more time. We want to do a rail revolve. This is a cross section profile. This is the rail, and you go from here to here. All right, so that's one way to do it, but it doesn't give us the indentation right there. So we actually need to do a little bit more work there. How to do it is we actually need to keep the bottom, for example, about half of it, something like this. And this is the line, if you look at the picture, is where this line right here, this line is, and maybe somewhere a little bit lower. And you can redo it easily if you want to. And we will need to split. Use a split command. This guy will be split by this line. All right, and then we don't need the top, right? We need to rebuild the whole top. So we're gonna reuse this curve right here. Let's go ahead to split this curve with the point and somewhere about this right there. So we got this curve separated out. So we are going to use the revolve command, and you click on, this is the curve, and the axes go from here to here, and we want to do 360 degree and then work at something like this. All right, notice that there's a little bit shape is missing in between. So on the top it may be a little bit too big, and then we need to bring it back a little bit somewhere about this. Okay, and then to creating the surface in between to get that indentation look, we are going to use the command for blend surface, and we're gonna blend, and make sure you want to chain edge. Auto chain is equal, yes. You want blend in between here and here, and make sure that this two need to be aligned. I usually don't like to have it like a too dramatic, and you can kind of moving those slice bar and to decide it how big of the curve, what kind of curve that you wanted. And I want to use a tangency and to double make sure everything will go right. Now you can add the shape if you want to, like this is a shape there, and you kind of feel like it's start getting a little bit twisting there. So I want to add another shape in between here and here, and that can help it if it is twisting too much. And let's click OK. So now let's go ahead to join it, and let's take a look on the render view. And I think I'm scaled this one. There's a little bit too much inside on the top. So I'm gonna go back the step. And a lot of time I want to keep this section here is because a lot of time when you are doing the 3D model, it's not always you model the first time is correct. So you kind of need to move around, model it multiple times to find the best. Right, so let's go ahead to use the blend surface, and again you want to chain edge, you want to blend in between here and here. I want to click OK, and also I want to make sure it's a record history so I can actually change it easier. And let's add another shape on the opposite side like what we did, and because this is a render view, it's hard to see, but it may not be straight. Oh, in fact this is one is actually straighter, so I'm gonna keep it like this one. And we may not want it to be too dramatic, and want to keep it like this. All right, and then if you feel like, let's take a look on the render view one more time. If you feel like this is like too much coming out, you can pick up this one. Since we recorded history, just scale it down just a little bit. Everything else will follow, right? You need to try out the distance in between the line that you trim and also the line you split, and to find the best proportion. But I think overall mine is getting a little bit too thin as a beer cap, but this is the way that you're getting this shape. There's a lot more surface being discussed in the membership program. For example, I just released a video talking about this seat cushion and how it's being modified on the surface to get this ergonomic form. If you're interested in this type of a model, join the membership and you are going to see a lot more video. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you next.